Eh, Qotru le قدم الذي يبوس اللي مريات على فايس بريزيدنت الموغولي نجل وكمال توبت سلسلة نجل مريدر بلور الشعبان الملو ديبوس مقدم لو تقدر الشعبان تيرا أنا البور إلى التايم اللي قدر نجل برايم مينستر أبير تيرا وك ملكلول كلينيت الرين المرا أدرى الشعبان جدا ريغل مال ويل سيلي أدرى الشعبان مقدم دمو ملات كرينير الألسيلز قدر ريغل مرتير الألسيلز مال مرينا سولير تريغل سأليت وك US NS Mercy ملوسي لبنجد قالوا مجد رأي توتا commander is it Commodore how do you say it? Commodore
Either one works, sir.
قالوا رد راديال متيال روجيل operation راديال تيال ديال النربلا تيا يل مرارا بلولا قط كلور hospital مرتر بيبولا داو تيا ميدل اتيول دارتا الساقة كلمتل 896 feet تلتلا لا بتر السيل مثل بني أولديجل متيجا منامورا يجل بلو سيلانغالي أولديجل وسيلانغالي سيلتول تسونامي را إندونيسيا بملون يجل بتر يوبجي الروغوي لين يجدا أدورتنيت نريا كلول أولديجل نريا كلول تلمال تياكل مقلول مسيرة دي سيلا اتمرا أولديجل أبلو مدنور تلين مربلا ngurul togal orul wana augurul ongerunga togor engineering ma triga real berbela tamna Vietnam melut ma khwa me merbela malmol omoroli ra pacific el mlisi irselungil dalwil ma awulanga tel omroli la pacific partnership segi del mlisi adalwil lo ngala gal belu logi wa triga soldalo mgarar af engirman teglo tagadub tamal dio مثل دي رمال بليلو إنغريا كلول غروس ربيبول مغرر نسيرار هذا مسيا عمل مقتكر تيال من قدمران من أسولين غارتين لين بدوك نا غرام لانوا غوبي دري وكلين وك مردا أتريتر من تدري كنا قدمران من أسولين غارتين سين مسوي درايجي يدري كنا مو أسكر عني من مو أي سايل برنامج مرتين يدري كنا نسير أسبيتالي درايجلو بيبير أترين تغني راوريور من diruile ruera da borsei ngam la vese ser gotto l'importante bo dunga teale do susra aibdul maraklai marubugul belau ilum ebir klai mar masil belau mana tanga tutar mangila president la senet hokons paules ma rogul senators dirigana tutam le joni da speaker ma rogul delegates dirigan mal mangida delegate alulu dirigana telo mangida of course vice president rigida Vice President Senior mar Arbekel Minister igida mal dirigan mosusrar Arbekel Governors Leitors matugobet sar other belaw ngara ayangal mo morho charigi mana iktar blue beral al sils kada mrangal tangat telbelu blo lomu loba nglungu kada tangat tertrigal tokol sededer upnos il joiner gidere al tutam adilungi la bay gumu le pak pasaula la Commodore Kim muluk bolo ay sergi base temle magarang ngara monitora ministra hel mo olida tingel triya giril tmaga ka pedemula teluror abrubilam sulang. So Commodore Kim, thank you for being here. Thank you for the strong partnership that we have and bringing mercy to Palau. And as I said yesterday, the more trips, we're at the right here at the point where you enter Asia. So we want the ship to stop here every year if possible. But
yes, sir. I will definitely pass that along. And not only me, but 700 of my shipmates will also be advocating for a stop in Palau.
But we really appreciate the support and, of course, helping our Ministry of Health. And during COVID, we had our friends from CDC backing our Ministry of Health up with getting through COVID. And it just so happened that you arrived when influenza got here.
That's right.
So thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
We have strong faith, and I think God leads. And thank you for being here during this
Absolutely.
time. And
this is what we're here for.
so, Yes, with that, I want to give you the floor, and I've asked a Minister of Health to be your translator, and
Oh,
he
that's
can
great.
add.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, and friends and citizens of Palau, Ali, and good morning.
They understand.
It is my distinct honor to be here amongst you all, august leaders and friends of Palau. As the president mentioned, we are here as part of Pacific Partnership, and I do want to say I'm very impressed with your memory because you were able to talk a lot about the ship's characteristics and talk about her length. So that is really, really great. I can skip that part.
Well, Commander Kim mereka sulir adrogu okior beklat. O ISRA setial lomrail tiren me partner sel Pacific Partnership Program el alrak el ni ar soldado cartel longa seurgit. Direct lo amatra president lo se malungi la a memory ringil na el mat kayel specification setial dial el dilongra away.
Mercy departed her home in San Diego over 2 months ago, and we traveled over 16,000 miles or 20,000 kilometers to come to this great nation of Palau.
Tial el USNS Mercy at tilobra San Diego ngia se awal kora home bringi. Imlamo erulbui lorail lomoralel merbelau pedel el telang. Lui el telail el kilometers habla lomakal ringira daw mera belau.
Sir, and we've brought over 700 doctors, dentists, nurses, veterinarians,
Matial direct el lulpangkel me with el dart el toktang mar nurse mar atra haisya ma direct el toktang ra armel men sergi der belau.
veterinarians, and engineers.
Toktang ra arm mar engineer.
But most importantly, we bring friends to Palau, and we are so honored to be here to cement and further our partnership.
Esel malu ngaru eringi rogu tawal melo ba tokora close elera igal telwil belau mabrigil.
We are now entering our second week on Palau, and we've already accomplished so much.
El al Sunday wal mo mongiru Sunday ngar belau malm la toka alul lopentrier adadra abelau.
We have subject matter exchanges at the Palau National Hospital and at the Palau Animal Welfare Society.
Mang tirgagi diel wal soldado di ta atra held ngartial dial lam la mo sabiril anyate el loriolo pentrier toktang mar atra held gidra ministry a held o sisil time tam la mo sabiril loriolo anyate el loriolo pentrier trigger toktang ra armor cell pos Palau Animal Welfare Society.
And just last week, one of our doctors, working side by side with a Palau doctor, was able to resuscitate a newborn who was going through an unusual emergency procedure.
Nung ay sila si malungil ay sila si tel no miracle Sunday at tara toktang artil loriolo panggila toktang git am lo sabiire lo sablia klangar atoloy. El niya mlaringia sa kora raktel lo sabiire ngoswir.
And just 2 days ago, we were able to perform an important orthopedic surgery and repair a leg for a Palauan citizen that might not have been able to be conducted here in Palau.
Ya erut club sir am la memo te direct kan lo sabil ngoswira adal niya amle ngaria tel melel oil lo sabil ngoswira al lamlak al ngartiang em lo dakal sabil ngoswira ukti hospital git.
And although I never want to see anybody get hurt, we appreciated the opportunity to combine our resources and our medical experts together to perform this surgery.
Malukol wase hindi akal suwado lo mesa korat talamal marakta hindi tiang ate al sabi etel kay ngeseul lo ngeser adalo sabi angis.
The remainder of the week includes a robust schedule of continued medical exchanges and host nation outreach programs such as band concerts.
Direct lo ay sa sel al Sunday at direct kal malmol mawdaili lo pentrier adat ding diakal dil ngara tokora guru direct kal ngaringi akora ngarakel to sokola ongak nganya pander til direkkel ngartiangal kora marulakan sir.
And I know many of the children out there are starting this new program with a year-round school, and we're happy to help you celebrate that new program with the band playing at the Koror Elementary School today.
Ngaway sila se tamla mamadangelo sa nganya ba esel kora tetelela a school matamal sa mariaral mo sokora Koror Elementary School mora arangal Garcel School.
My own children do a year-round program, and they love it.
Wasa arangal gen to direkkel ngara osisul taleta.
And so we look forward to continuing our exchanges throughout the rest of this week. And thank you very much for embracing us with your community and your love. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ngaway sila set malt meawrang rir el mugtal malmol may gel luriorel padairel al Sunday maringa sule la belaura telungil dalwil.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And the Palau is open for you. And I hope you get to enjoy a little bit more than just the hospital
Yes, sir.
and see a little bit more of our hospitality and
Yes, sir.
our ocean and a little bit more of Palau. But it's really great to have you here, and we appreciate the partnership.
Yes, sir.
And we know you have many things to do, so we can excuse you unless media. Do you have? There might be just some media
Of
questions.
course.
Yeah, and then we'll let them do that, and then
course.
we can be excused after that.
Ali.
I'm Leilani with Island Times.
Nice to meet
And just a question, you mentioned that the activities with the Ministry of Health, are the services, your doctors working with the Ministry of Health in the hospital providing services, or is this just sort of a training exchange with our medical professionals?
Thank you for the question. We are actually doing both. Where we can provide direct care, we will do so. But the medical professionals in Palau have also been very, very capable. And one of our mission goals is to do subject matter side-by-side exchanges so that we can help the overall health proficiency and public health proficiency of the nations that we visit.
Okay, thank you very much for that question.
Good morning, sir.
Ali, good morning, sir.
Thank you very much for providing that services to Palau. You mentioned earlier that you have many dentists in the boat with you, and we have shortages of dentists in Palau. Do you provide services for dental clinics here while you're here?
Absolutely. We have our dentists in the Palau National Hospital, and we also have some dental procedures planned for the USNS Mercy as well.
So we can announce to the public that your dentist will be available to provide such services
Yeah, yes, sir.
in the media?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and we'll excuse you.
Thank you, sir.
So you
We,
can,
we may go and hit some of the community scuba diving and snorkeling at this time.
Well, the tourism sector would very much appreciate that. The minister over there.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we have to excuse you because sometimes our press conferences go on for 2 hours. So.
Appreciate it. Have a great
Okay.
day. Bye.
Thank you. Okay, madolmol ngartia kamana ngatral tuta ngartia presidente of Senate ma speaker ma delegate alul so mosana iget tablol bill ngar madat sel RPPL 11-22 sel bill msadra judicial salary dirigal ngora mgataklil waseng trigel uk not bar that people in mas aududir. I think that's what I'm important parte se el adrigal ngari sel 90,000 adset el mohel paigel el migre el blue tira ospea uk assistance el ndeka kampak roader ti aise delegate alul ge ya wamal di mora house yang bidar house sea bodasan ng 11-22 eh. Hindi tiabil la Senate. Tiamne bil la Senate el help other house. Along ito ay. So era el silsen 20. So 11-22. Ngayon po sa niya 11-23 tiasel wal supplemental budget. This other mo taklir sa supplemental budget ngaria udaw del dingilay el 2.6 million. El mehel pergi del fund ay luk activity gire la amanggargel ma la tora uk environment travel wa. Because ayel menudo dame soy sebra am tergid el cedro espera wa Ministry of Justice ma Ministry of Environment ma wa pikri ma yigid el nara ya sang angargid en wal beskida ateal el namor ya udo del cedro label legal dib langari rangaramo el fundara tora education MOE amal mleklo requesting il to spare erol maldar tetela el tial bila amal klo to treleng mo help pergi del make sure ngari udo del mora tora education Direkal tora hospital ngari tigel ngalged del severely disabled and racial assistance kada naman sa song sa udo dari crucial udo da mo help pertir so that's 279,000 direkal seldungura atora say 221,000 atora hospital 279,000 so sedro say almost half pertial budget health ma education and then amnaria alulingit niya other customs, Ministry of Finance and Border Protection and because of the realignment and table wal so we made sure that was covered. Again mo mga taklir si aligid amne ka budget trigid by 10%. Mang tiang adekal restore ele gidam na sa budget hospital 10 million. So actually to get back to where they needed to be, we need to give them another million. But they will still have 6% or sell. Yeah, actually blel losing it 10%. Education mong same, more than 10 million na budget 13 hindi kada mong important services hindi kalsuadan batrop maulang kada mga sula other olbil kasi kada prioritize take care. Dire kal ngari audo del nora judiciary because like everybody else, dire kal ngila 10% el cut. Dire kal nari 100,000 and more capital o masera la dengi amal mlamas moram kital nakadengi ra capital mo segida 100,000 and more help per se. Dire kal budis rigid amal al expense tir mong dimna kal more sell full 10% but it's close. Ngari another 300,000 el the replacing is el budget bla bulis diregal 100,000 for PNAA ma 200,000 el kamlor olbil so kadi makada propose ni ding amlor olbil to mes sa Senate House of Paudo the speaker mang nari 200,000 and more olbil ngari 800,000 el tiro de mo help by state government kung naswa umingil amlo basically ngurtu regal el fishing rights kora di shelo ase kide sera dongo dur trial salid loni tange sortir and I know delegate alul kam langara San Francisco sel time amne tingil merida ase yede help program sel 800,000 ase kid amlu seringil wal fishing rights and the Minister Victor Amal lemring la tingil ng ase hal kami ada mom urtial arangale langal sa kasam kama dire ng area export tax ri mo lari 45 cents ng area arado luluri ore ng area small ase kama ma action gram lara 3 million mo tiar 800,000 amal nga songos mo legel 800,000 for 3 years which is only 2.4 million ding bay mo sel uuli mong 2.6 million per year for 3 years matiada dos peringra yo sang aral alir next year kadam trosperi ma following year magada kadam nga sulit tiga partner sergi del ginier sel lontid le gida amna yelo ase tial the bed angari agar kadang ngi amne provide mera ablur belaw ngari yel wal ngal sa set tukar school hospital legal set tax space amle fan ma state so tiang awal bol help pergi del wal kuya paigel udo del mo help paigel del program pergi del magada merenga sulit tiga partners sergi del mesa sel nututrela omariom but at the same time our tutrela lagal bol goso ko sa government provide get service and moral it's about partnership mga damran mga sulit direkal of course ang partner sa malisel program marine spatial planning gida amdayin wasi gida abela maral isel rablulat ratukora omngariyoman and Palau partner sel dom godori aseng ocean panel President Ramosa Amil Ali Miguel Prime Minister of Norway gida co-chair sera tangara Lisbon atara blo blagatakal mora ablulada se sel position gida wase kada manage 100% radabet protect at a minimum of 30% by 2020 igal blue rablu adam namo 100 10 el blue am la gongelo se sea hablar gida dim nego tem langalak diga do abla do tak igal blue logi ulle del mo I think along that line se adana Lisbon kada milga takil wase gida bela malbeto igal dongar for example already share the protect igagidele erwa the mulama gujirama agal mamal sergid ediregal tial mi isra bertak lam kada protect ni already el tial 100% tial el easy rigid magada tara uksira danga Lisbon kada muklo partri gid ma Fiji olitra igal blura blada se kam terrible slowdown or sel mi isra bertak le tila omreli kamel blul already namas adab el mura blumam kami adi tila luyor le sel mongi isra bertak leng release cycle carbon okay diwa amo ospea oil maluben coal sige dadul lengi trilo se ka hale lut tim mo kamal omsubir tila deka blugul bo moy bela la stobri ndi at least tem trebring il tibel tam lut mo klo omsubel malagal laga ba mga katra bertak tum lablul adamang ayeh mal diri kamal mol me parte tial marine spatial planning el doruri amal mongil subit tial debet ray el gotum klo to tel dangar al sel e wara selungil tretel el got protect and manage rim gadami tagi del goal sergi dro 100% managed at a minimum and 30% protected which is no team morablulado I said this is a win model or how you balance production and protection kadam nga sular adro olbil akpanya semble kamang la debate present senate nding no se en mrael kadam nga suli speaker and waseng godu kumlang wa talbakas the continue el magalorior leng mokte gargida agumra se overall ase magra dolmol man ngarae dolmol men make sure kadang ngarae dega da sia atial ngigin ngara beth le continue lo me el se da ngarae mlari ebol benefit ra other belo le parte se blue prosperity plan gida ase namo yedron itial se da se help gida orgorodol help gida ayel ukblal el mo process angin material kong balir belaw wabo fima chakson na inayas mga kong balir ni behel pertin mo maklol kong balil tira mo provide ngal tuna almiral on in other belal mo seletura magitras asyabal el al time kadam se tegid namo torak legal del asyabal adingara era debet digal stop ngara egid malmol mga edior tarang ngi ngara ngawal malmal tamasyabal segire den uno gordira balu egid other bela mo parte tialo mga benefit from it lang kada malomra se to kasi kita se del ngosong si omnget din klobo dolari and so mga sulir tial bill tial sel MSP domra seng by September dori 2024 Minister Victor aseng na omra report mo sel mo daseni ase ngara igel findings sama auk direction kita sa nga lesbian ata nam tigla sing mal beto ka research out there ma dongul se drospe mga risel Global Fishing Watch, Nat Geo, the Weight Foundation, tigero ka di soil health FFA, Minister Amlara, SPC, all of those different organizations amot mag help rid tialom subet gida ngari pikri gergit ay garo ka mot mag help rid dara aurel girel tiang. Of course, yung nani igel tablo ra tukol amle swado ase kada table mga takla mang help rid or tela sanctuary wanania selo ase authority wala dekal make sense authority ra PNMS al ngara al sela a pikri di ngirel a ministry lo ngora artial authority arwa pikriga a helper tir course am leklo debate ara seneta gora ngar sel position ase kami orde ko baklisi embere minister ko baklisi medi model lo ba authority egida let's make sure that segida other training sometimes ang mo overlap pa lo senta malongoral same thing happens in a Ministry of Justice. If you look at the recent post on Facebook, it was a commander in charge, I employed a Pickwick. Hindi ka ligil YSL, hindi ka dongora Marine Operations Center or Joint Operations Center, ngara Ministry of Justice, ada ngara Pickwick dongora ari. That's a wrong message that is sending in Morablo. It's confusing. Ngirel ada ngar say, a reporter mora chief, a reporter mora director, a reporter mora minister. Hindi ka ngara ikla government, and that's why we wanted the changes, but we'll work with it. Of course, nga get reservations, we have to move forward. Dirigal, time, ministry, ayan ministry, amring tira amro sa funding ri. Segmo nga show at kasi kotong ario ludo da kotong sa udo dri ministry Mr. Victor maknega mariselu do other house as sel fab dale dim maybe say el general fund bol el telera vehicle ministry ma rather apply giren di ay el tablong amno model we understand that we have to have compromise most importantly close to tele speaker ma presidente seneta se togora school ma togora hospital ma togora bla bla sa de kabolon ngosong ma state government ay kita malmol mga el arire continue no me segal palasilo ase what needs reform most importantly ngir adrablu ngir rangi gele ngir rabeklat so yeah de come delegate lulu ma minister Victor that's a good idea uso sa pleasana sa limo house bill ela kadam la senate bill and house bill I see.
Minister Administration ng mga Rio del
Moise. Mga Minister of Finance. Nakalada ka rin nga siya singa dim na camera office sa President. Hindi kada reminder na ka speaker close to tila po nga sir adro ko ngila 10% cut including all bira kalulaw masel restore sel 100,000 ade kalung sel 10% tebla ka tring hindi at least ang tiblo gedi may sel diwa judiciary kada amreng asular bek ladal kada mlet makal mga rem ngaygal sel ngal sa sel kada make sure magatmok lang man makabel trigidan mora endra year koman sulang kada mo sign tiang 11-23 el 20th day Okay. Sudah. Ndera dilungin ada excuse ra present Senate mas speaker yok dolmol mora press conference. Sudah present. Sudah. Sudah. dolmol mora tiale 51st el Pacific Island Forum gada malangal tangat mlosela Mr. Clyde Joyner yid magadal adim larseng ya de ortob da news el di malmare del mem malmare ngasula el uknosel la mugia del mora Fiji di tigal adra media malimis en tokal ngarse le amek medal 100 mang tikal sa mal mesang le tiga di algong tengara rotation terstal desang andi akune aseng mal le well cover de omdo so amne tara gora krol discussion asa giri bas ngiri alger di gida mal of course el oro lo ventrir usiga gero gulte al lo ase grado do mudara pacific do lisi gida of course no se de morsera June kada wableda conclude the sale agreement emrar to hindi mnakate level sigidra June seral abangara Fiji ngwaldi gal tawal blue min nga dadu tiram le kada milas mo dadu tiram dim nakal sebele to covid agora dim nakal sedal dadu kada milas mo dadu tir up until July lo de kal sedal dadu in fact mlania tele dem legire del el suebo galmon di tira wal blel el goto wargid mandim na tele del el morsel duera da bon andi kada mal gora amlo narat gora belal shaq to gora amlo o kil betiekle resera lo aiso seta ta agi el adi mortiang modort di selungin aisa of course gida de kada olmo de kada stobel malasm lo sikro lasem grado do urtire do lasem lo murta ul de swir man amlongin aisa urera gi morael lo selen el president agiri bas ma prime minister Fiji la adadu el wase dolmol mal adadu asim radi blog el mir gamin me do lasem el gutmok la igel uk gamia aswa bara mul giren di gida مم تقرير واسي كده سرا دومور تيال لوك administration رجيد امراني سيلنا مودا سين ماكريوس communique سيبل ثاني تيال president سرا مايكرونيشيا بيلاو president رموسا in that ماكريوس communique امريكا تقرير واسي ثم تمل مول النودل ادل مورتيال دروال اجير دل توب دل مايكرونيشيا Mungsia blada do orangi rogul adara Micronesia imle urture se kada tuoboda meral toy sel tingir adara giri bas rase al time gadam namo soy se bendiriga gal toboda ngel SG ngel secretary general di gida teatora compromise do secretary wasem gram sum adar will matagini lo ase indiange mal dingari lemut 18 months while el first term le derrak trigger le former secretary general sa all 6 years di wal deal being isirabel what say within a year and a half el moria SLSG model every 3 years after 5 years mo adra Micronesia so siam le compromise el really at least moria adra Micronesia al sela 18 months دي اومنجل سي ايال بيبيرا او كتير الملوس ادل الباسل الرمول المرال سميسي ايتال دلويل من سيلغوت اموري اوبيسرا بي اي اف را مايكرونيشيا اونيرو سيل بي اي اف غاريا سيكريتاري جنرال غاريا ديبيوتي تموتيرو ديبيوتي ما بكل تايم غاريا ادرا مايكرونيشيا ميلونيشيا ما ابالونيشيا بارت تيال الدلل تيال lo marredana agidregal temlom ko taklira bangara PIF lo ase ultimo kraigal bulu gloria kararang ase tial New Zealand Australia ta part rangaral bulu kami amla dia New Zealand da part ra Polynesia ya Australia part ra Melanesia sea tel do mir tial Pacific ngo isem dia ada loit sela idea dia se kada melisi tial tulwir regal bekal bulu ngaria marbek la aba ngari ngarir part tial al dalal tial Pacific magada diregal al mlobla takla se sel drual real Secretary General ang wal tablo luko gelat. Secretary General e Ocean Commissioner. Masih blel kangin wasing obire lang. Moria iliak Ocean Commissioner. Enge dimre del matutka. El girel adra Micronesia. Mentara wal parte sen ngara al dungura dimre del elalta. Mang kadamo meet aru era October ngir da sangak kan mora our leaders etira mo kung eri hindi angak la ngir di top da Micronesian mo dekan ngari beberablo ediregal tar sel telbila ase eng moria obis era Ocean Commissioner en mera North Pacific mumbu ase mera Micronesia ma wal tablo lobis imura drual wal tablo drual la bangara di sela kada per time magada kada mera sulir trigal baby rigi dengan PIF lo mesa sel wase cloud to tell ada daga da alludel butoka albang ra climate change en me covid tomlit en uk marma conflict diregal cloud to tell gidru kadra tahe aba daga sismi sigid ma aba mesa gidel challenge sigidra wa climate change en kodoba imol to MCC angare den mora buladel lo multo do swil el lol mase origid mang ayagida hablo da albang landi kada mrenga sulir tigal sali del tiram la gonge o kadamal di ngarang lungu girela sali ngara giri bas moro lo mentri de kada moral wase ada ka rogo kada sisi mang goramle medal 18 months lo gorang ngara aring alda wanding na sedro wase even up to the last minute kada kmerdara a Fiji endriya kal sana bulu rogo endriya seven signature angara ya mga ka diri kal koram lo uldi kal ano ase tiang sen motto ko ndal sen motto ko di kadamar mrenga sule la chair me se leger da das ko mi ma signature amrael maru era gibo mo meeting sel sils 17 signature model atel bilam la mo mrenga mo da mrenga sule la leadership ra a chair prime minister a Fiji nemring no urior Dilur ko masera yung ngarse dan rajun ko yak salom rangal dan ko amal bet taro to ngasom tinagit dan emro ko dire kam no blakatak lo ase asa lidera Australia New Zealand dagel bes lobby sa bol fan lagi tim lasing ase dan Australia take care New Zealand take care ngam na se gid leng mase gida partners kada mudra Pacific we have to bring everybody together makadamral mereka sudah leadership beri ma trigal betul kat leader tahiyo you know Australia mlesen dat blot skogi kotem mlesen der sel skogi rajun on mer takargid en mora Fiji mo meeting eliru ter sendra skogi mer takargid en mora Fiji gu kiral tial leaders meeting le temilcha sel wase kau tu telela ada dagar rogui makada tere kaman mereka sudah Australia you tara atokol blol dong dura Australia girel ase askogira adrongola Australia mebela makara omul eleng betokar turis you know kadamo kadokora mo asarungu duleng blula damla rebound ra tourist Europa mlangalak ra 2019 ini mlangalak ra pre-covid Maldives mlangalak ra pre-covid French Polynesia mamlangalak ra pre-COVID. Fiji, el alta mamla reach 80% tra tourist ring. Narawulang ngarse, adra Europe udigel, mlamo mleokra blulab, adra Amerika matem didrurt, maradra Australia matem didrurt, maradra New Zealand matem didrurt eral. Di problem Asia maldiri alsimar. So tarate alara tourist magadas kra ministera turista se kama mesa market Australia le pida loruning other Australia mna tia gere other ministry of transport team ras kogi lo mangiet lo mesa tia route so by the end of September the morto dra gora wal RFP rolling Tigal Airlines te open rangi di airline ngara Pacific rase kamo mesa provide service in Brisbane Palau Brisbane Nauru Bola Bay Palau figure out a way sabel or Brisbane, Fiji, Palau, Brisbane, Papua, Port Moresby, Palau, connect mo ra Asia. Retana mo mesalo se close to tele la dolisi ra oliviu ra drongolet lese ungir age izay edri kalungir adal will magada mrenga sule Australia sel commitment tertilo ase tia uknek sel boloru ringil lu kolong se orgidel masih magarada the lingara north masaud of course se tang aseng nekot tele del mit tertigal leaders ndeka ngodul lungil wasel ka kabang benga matat ada adu kadang razumeng kribel meringal adu kote ko radi tib di one way di of course sel badagal dagal umur dagal el morangal activity tiak kote le ada adu el msada tokol tokoy mung kada maral di merenga sulit tigal sali de of course Australia man New Zealand abe time tokora malangar sel roy de mendakal sale mesegid mang kada merenga sulit tiga agar assistance tir sira tangar se dirikal no se del mit tigele ambasadora EU kasi tiasen mal de kablukul meeting dengan kadi tilo meeting ase ngana mo komla close ra embassy kamira EU makase well ndeka ududa maka mal abul bulum ndeka chal club lukul ngari embassy kamira EU relal time leng kami ko ram la mo deka silong sir kamam ire kamam ko la mo high income mangase oh dia kamral toy maral na mo deka chamlong sir kami mak tinuni lo ase mela kamo spertilal excuse madri kam lengel al foreign minister kamira Germany en lerbela e mesa blum lo ase ngos panges well am la mo yedel lo sikro ase mgrad lut el mestril el OEDC DAC report am la me report rebela lo ase sel dol tira karsel los perngil lo lagael e momesra GDP rebela am lestatra 2017 e de ordangan ang 2021 amla kadamla mora below sel threshold na mo al ko high income mang agir nung sel babir ambassador EU ase mo open ay dale ngeso mo muska mangeso la kamoro excuse mo mart kamo la kamo ser kamam we need assistance to climate change building up economic resiliency anyway sila Ministry of Finance ko mo update gire like lastly I just wanted to update kami sira ruera doral Morales pone semble ruera doral chief umle after ada sir grant agreement yeah of course why say term lo laster conference ra Lisbon lo se la minister gidra Victor el signer it's a grant agreement la mangila Conservation International niotero ma TNC gire la galudo aluluni tialla ngala bla sana tialla como si agum dos minister na si lulis galudo so mla modega bogi kle minister waseng mo ina fa udo del Founder Cell Breakfast Program ma yel tol important initiative bla momura Ministry of Education ay galudo kon ministry kita okay akasus maeli mga sulado olbil nosil sa teala ambassador Hennessy Nilan no modadura olbil na joint session ang umara sengela first ambassador no se luk modadura joint session olbil kalulaw mga sulado olbil ministry teal ikaw tutila la bodo recognize ora se tenure ngal ambassador igi del ngam amrael adimle erurak ding ase narsele erurak alinga ko tukla albangalet mga suler amring luderel ngia amle blakarungul losiga gerugul te alla blur amle la mulmul mange sunin merbela mung tora guruleng he was there bebira tama sa minister ka farma kala mo sa kan mamri dinga blakarungul dolbo delitiang seling ngana yang sa de mula se madam sigi tian mas kamam durada CDC mem dur tamel me mang nani sel el blagar rengani mung ndimla kadamar di unmuro obiseng ngesola se grado gera da gal vaccine bla di tal mer rogui murusar adar rogui makada kadamlo raiger rogul el dul kada seral gotter mer kadamlo report lo miguel ol siwakle emro tarak tiluna se ndeka ted diol siwak soga kam tara balsar tel gotter mor murusar el gotter sins mo se okay ngira kan malak clearance na kala State Department mila clearance ni letlo la kasi ndekal sebel tial lorus mira de belao Kamam la adre lagi mora orus, kamam la molar orus. Inga sende kamay sing. Gira setter example. So kadamran brenga suler segid. Dekal dil sing setter example and make sure ngari adong umar adal mel help pergid. Magar. You know that was so important. Direkal you know tara sa roseng atibul bigel ambassador leng. Giringelo bangyadan mora Taiwan mo visitor adra Taiwan. First ambassador am bigel mo since 1973. Mang siragi mo mlari awal kami pari regal skogiluk building argid. Marcel tol bulu undi ngol hotel was sel dora lamal te gida promote to freedom and democracy ma free and open Indo-Pacific mang gal ambassadora akola dim lagal madaktel stand up for what he believed duraseng maral to koy kada maran mom kita mo nang mrolang of course Mr. Terlams gidam tenga ser ambassadora agote klor ngar alir om te era blurir tengar tel protecta interest ter ma bebera timing muria kakaro sra uldaso maregel ol dubel de kada sal alga hindi sel ko klor tutren selungin el dura radana wala dum kada mrenga suler sel ni adi blak takal me moda duri gidra adi mrean dim lak tele rasus ndi al bebera time ak ma text ni ramal mlamo osoy mama sana adira kara sen tangkal di text ka ram namo ngakla time ndi se mal di open ade wala kam sen mesang mo na sing muk ambassador ngaram ambassador hindi you know say aklo tutrel tol gire la wil del wil and then igal partnership agira loise ndeka time aktir kala masriyan adri kal morano na sing ngaram ma president textra na akra midnight ndi you know gida betigar ngura belwal begida betigar ngura belwal mengira da bebera time kada mo ngare ka bo serin di circle tutrela dosi gate al mongir tire mongir git magada game rolang al mo professor ra Texas A&M el molsi sakra school Bush School of Diplomacy makasenga maral appropriate ngem mal suan mo dadu oy mal mongil professor dire ko lolo isang rasus ra se ngari imora ural blal kolongin giret a Princess Cruises de ayadin una dois amla harin so next year March en talbuil el bolonga radial sel dial la longa shabal el mera kwame el mutu mashabal tia kuslana amrigel momongar sel dial el algong lecturer o sa kartira igal blu atayo etiang ko dakal berbelaw ngirem lo sikro sa sel dial la ukme mugar belaw amne ambassador mere belo optim sa igal berbira blum ngorong la sen dia la ukmo ambassador gid ruko sera adamang kasi ali mo mo do ngel mere do sa musel dial me mawara bela lagi dire los per tourist ma ngira reach out minister mutur mora Princess Cruises o se al sumo kom lame mugar akwa me di mol mal berbela ngira lo siga igel chuider mer bela muga welcome diga da maran brenga suler temel mlar belaw emlisi irtial dalul gida ma blur amregel kadam nga se betokar soldal destrera al sela blur bela amle taratingel el mortiro se ndeka cruise ship mer belaw medim sendegal dial ukme oldinger gamamle puede se trigal ngara diala bebera tame zorin mekmer drablu oldinger ablu mo itti ringa swase ngare bebin momel bakhl kadam brenga suler ndeka tourist ndi ngara neko marine reli no se kalmor adial ngara tour nine al dial nine al earth a service el dial every 10 minutes and top the earth telmon my god diga hotel el earth el murtra total mo taklo kara mo total mak pagase tigelo earth lang al amaluilan rel mudo del mora boketin el altal el klo al bura blum kada mereka sudah belum mereka lah. Teman-teman ni saya aku saya mereka lihat temui. Dia kabel di bawah, lemna motemet semua meran. Kabel di tu, trilat. Dia penduduk ambasador, masih tidur ase. Hara earth, mana saya tiada belum ospek angin so. You know dah segit sering. Kada dia kalau sin mer turis, tu sih gaya rogur te ala lor masih orang gitu. Kada mereka sulel, mereka sulel ni mabil. Nakmaya sa gaya lura rawaisen di 35 years el aurora foreign service ra blue ramregel mga rura blue lath lang ara Texas el ukma professor mo Si El Morse mong to karangal karberal uktiri kan mora Texas A&M College Station. Akpadelo asing ari awan ang artia lobby sirgid maldik medung mo cho in artirum nang San Morsel School mong kada umra asing tara ngil school ablo ramrigel uk ngari ang lageda choril mong he'll be there. Masak Morsel uk silil belal ang arsame. Kasi the other thing that he told me last night was Morsel yo sikro asing ngara uk sel connection makhelp para PCC through my professorship. So, kasi harung ulam hal diri ko bangget, yung mororoy hindi he'll always be with us. So, we wish him the best. And thank you, Ambassador Hennessy Island, for the outstanding work that you did in building the strong partnership between Palau and the United States. Wish him the best, and God bless him on his journeys. Hiyang mararakap sing Iraklugu. And mora abluram rin. Susang left farewell and nga kasi no, until we meet again lang, I'm sure he'll be back many more times. So, namotte milo gera nga kamal di mo da doon. Dim lalas sa mesokal sharing ya. Akmo di mo sa Ledel Sunday. Tiyang private trip. Kasi private trip lang, family trip, mukti nga kan modibus hindi ka expense sa government, mukti expense nga. So, every time you have to take time with your family. So, modibus, partera umrole ka vacation, but partera umrole ka mora self-school black graduate in 1988 to receive an honorary doctorate on August 7th. So, after receiving a return in Merbelao. So, return on August 12. Di malmring asula la cabinet normal tiga mal arong la vice president ang artiang lo maliurgi dam to malmring asulir amring ludare. Of course kita dibus di atial dengwa da kalsel mo dibus bitar gi dam kada we're still connected dam sulang.
Marungil swelbe dik paliaker kuram katatal di busat yang Minister of Finance Minister man melkora couple things one sebeban miskita kura quick update WIOA funds ya ongerung sel domestic draft del budget unified budget del bem submit ngi ngara olbide langi I'm sorry ndim lagi sa ka persel FAA lo bangel ndi ngara kora budget projection ra ay gale digital residency kinala next year para to ka expect to do del ngate del kora pesel el project la starter.
Thank you, Lei, for the question. Let me start with the last one. The expectation of digital residency for next year is at the current level that we have now, which is about 1,500 residents. We do expect the number to increase, but we are being very conservative with our projection for next year, as we haven't seen any movement in the tourism sector and other sectors of the economy that we watch, as well as the ending of the CARES Act funding. We are also ending Cross-Act funding as well. So after we restart the Cross-Act for a limited group of people for the next 2 months under the humanitarian assistance program, we will have almost exhausted all of the about $1 million that is left in the fund. So we don't count too much on the digital residency income. There has been some progress with the program. We understand that our residents are now able to trade in the crypto exchange under Binance exchange. The problem is that with the crash in the crypto markets, we don't expect that there will be much activity until the market starts roaring again. So that is somewhat of an outlook from us. We're taking a very conservative view. The budget that we have proposed to Congress, which is with them now, and we're working with them to answer some of their questions. Is basically the same budget as last year, plus the additional 2.6 million that comes from the Blue Prosperity project grant. So we are maintaining a conservative position, keeping expenditures at the same levels. And if we are able to secure additional funding, we can look at the possibility of a supplemental.
So, and I think we should add that even with the current budget, we're still below 2020 levels. Even with raising the baseline wage of all government employees by $6 a day, kadadiriga below our sel budget diriga 2020. Ilang sel uko the Ministry of Finance kasi dakat sa dalawa mal mo aggressive om dos asing mal mo ila tourist mga next year pero masel time al sum mo wil kung yadom dos supplemental ndi for now gira del gargik le mgigogi de we hope rasa October na change ara ko to but legal baby rablu sel rebound the tourist mal lemre we dakat sa del mal mul more sel kada we need to be conservative. To call better conservative amara. Ko yado garigi kende garigi to ko man mum tergak le kada mon mo goso. So
Yeah, the funding for next year's budget still includes borrowing. So we're expecting that the funding we are expecting from the $30 million loan from ADB, the second half of the loan, will be used for this year's budget, which is already appropriated, and the balance will be used for next year's budget as well.
Medico falla a partire da ma ako Mr. Sel el babiling la present el mora all bill el ASCAR authorization for additional $25 million loan from ADB ako sel position nga al sel nga akora al dulo bang ADB mumtas ang asabi el say 25 million also mo ASCAR mo request ringi yalo bang koratir ka nga raw tas mo komti o siga authorization.
Yeah, the one of the challenges we have now is the previous authorization is short 15 million for the 30 million. So we decided to ask again for the 15 plus the additional 15. And then on top of that, in anticipation of any other challenges that come up, we wanted authorization for another 25 million. That I have been discussing with the Asian Development Bank, and they are willing to assist us.
selungir selon $1 ADB ngar sel gotel ngari ole magada kida amlol mul gotte gal seledo se kama mal albul ngara albul e ospe angesu in fact sera da bor amrige ramei semle da dal mur adra amrige lo se agim lam mai gallon malo brother gamam kamum dasu مسيا ملمول مل الدادو مملان تيانجل الوك ستافرا هنقول سرا سنترا بلون امريكان سيسل سالدي رامنا ميمون نجيب لك سندرين تيجي سنتور سلميل مسج تيجي تي سلون تي دا سيغام سيكرو لا سمس خوام سلو تيو مليون يبلام ليني لودو من ديرغال سيل سوم غدا سيل دوليت انجيران غاري اول غدا دوليت من sel sumbo da blanch la ADB mal blakatak onti better yet on yitring ore da blanch mung akmaya se bebira da lam dak taseng mal mobto kabel sel di ADB dire ko lam se se tigan sil hara on dia ya basis sel ngari ol interest ende kam kita ngaya lo do dal me dire gal 2p al sumo ga mal invest se da kantil eleng se dum sugura clora sel lo hara ring ol mang ngira dal momudul and manage telu do de bi ngungil te alergi de melang awdo der tin bai mila dolen al waisel ngari olin mutungare olin I think the sewer loan minister was it this is the lowest one right yeah so
Yes, the interest rate has changed because we're changing the basis of the interest rate. So most of our loans now are changing from LIBOR, which is what we used to use, to SOFR. SOFR is like a U.S. Security rate. it's a little bit more predictable and less subject to manipulation.
Well, the president of the minister say, welcome home, welcome back. Raman ne wungila, tel trip per wungila to kadi ngar tiang epekil sisel gidim, mo mesa, orang saya kan news mal masal gilua president ka mamal mora trip. Ma next time ikaw lang ito sa siyang mga trip no ikang mga imura adra medium. Pwede nga siya dilo ay sa issue may marat bela lo tinggal mo siya.
Raman. Sula.
Emre ko ya akmams ka kama minister finance erul toy di last selong erul krika maldigor ka. Ako tel kera girela ayosa. Kautel masahing sa supplemental budget. Madigera wa sa egel Agulme cycle justification agil mo administration sel 1 million matragel mo agil patulus spell. Mal will justify. Din ko dim lagi cycle lomosode agil dartel telan mo house madartel telan mo senate misil dartel telan mo judiciary. Again additional no dia kautudir malaya lu tam le spend out no mo over budget tin tam lagi. Ay kang ilangaril mamora state lam ngail angari il mora ikalobi sa government dimla ka kuk angaril mora other by allowed tigal abul ngara private sector ma el mal abul ma tigal waitial el pension plan ma tial SS o misal mal timral budol almol mo magoy mang segi de mo pangkel tial esel budget. Koro mes ringia di igel esel do ngar al sel mga sel murarat. Sel agirel angari na ata kabelmen. Singarak medel edel milyon ma angari mura sel subsidira a PPUC. Iti kangod al esel. Makri ka wasing. Kay gidel alabang lang lirar at rabulong kinay kalpatoklus wa cross up ma loan mo ra business madiregli gara teligera a pension plan may gira ese sa kumisen dia kaudo del mo mang tial arala alu nang mas dia ka kura subsidy na ku lurar ata individuals tigal old age ar adam maklola kung mesra ata kwam subsidize at dirira lu asay wala $1,000 mora old age Google was saying ngariya te lel mo sois ba although der elar ngar madal olbil ad olbil mosis ba gel additional go seul morarat malube como proposal mong malube segi de mo oti proposal amro okay ungerul ger ako mesra news ra tutaw ngaringin ko sa Namsan diak no sa sina atakra Taiwan ra August 21st.
Okay.
Sel sumuay segi de kita la maso is ram kamat. Sugumong morni. Ma question na say sel la kumesay kaldia la soldado ngarbela un malbatok. Ika de soldado di ngartiang. Gidam at so is bertia gidel tiang Indo-Asian Indo-Pacific defense perimeter ngarang. Kad masois bertiat tukura makmadat skum morni ma question na ka wasin siya tungwa kampak kada tilbi ka adam rigel wasing kad mo nga sayon sa bakrikid sa bakratin hindi ada belal adim nakadat ngera kampak tal wasin kad mo sois brab esel tilbi ra way tegid Indo-Pacific defense perimeter whatever tiang gelngiu lak ngera ada belal posisi bangi malu kada because sa Adam Liga defender kita kan naso Israel sel. Akmus kay gigide.
Halak pa sa te ala ministera gaya mamrura kang paktre al time medre kala raw doon tabong ministera finance ma mo dice and then
Okay, let me start with the budget. A very good question, and I think it's important for the public to know that in the budget we are being very conservative. And that the budget doesn't represent all of the assistance that's being provided by the government. So, for instance, social protection grant which is a grassroots program for elderly and disadvantaged, as well as domestic violence victims, is being provided through a grant by several countries through the Asian Development Bank, and we have just started implementing this program. It involves many partners, including PVA, Bureau of Agriculture. In this time, we plan to distribute a million taro plants. We are working also with the Ministry of Health and Human Services. The Director of Public Health is a part of the program. And we are also working with through these agencies with the Vice President's Office, the Ministry of Justice, the other community organizations that are working with us include Bango and SKO and Bella Wellness Center. Part of the program is to find those disadvantaged people, elderly whose houses need renovation, and we will fund those renovations for them. So it's a very directed assistance that will go to
How
people.
much? How much the total?
A total of this program, I believe, is 3.7 million, if I'm not mistaken, around that amount. And the assistance will be given directly to people. We are also working with the taro planting. It's more like an income revenue improvement for people in the rural areas. And we will be working directly with the women's groups. So this week, I believe tomorrow, we hope to sign 6 women's group contracts so we can give them money directly to help them with their planting. Also with this program and the seedling development, we're working through Bureau of Agriculture as well as the PCC Extension Services. So this is a very important program that targets directly to the people who need it the most. And this is a policy that we've been promoting, and it's been working very well. You mentioned a high cost of fuel regarding those people who have a very hard time paying for their fuel. We still continue to have money under the Lifeline program, and that will continue. We did not put it in the budget because we still have money. What you see in the budget is for AFPAC adjustment, and that will help those other people who are not low income. So we continue to use the money that we have left plus additional appropriation to help people directly, but targeting those people and not helping people who don't need help. Same goes for the CROSS Act. We are reducing the people who are going to be getting assistance because some of the businesses are already receiving a lot of tourist business, basically military, but their businesses are running almost like the same level of 2019. So why support those businesses? Put more money into the businesses with employees that are in more need. We will also continue to support the market sector as we have been under the CROSS Act. So again, our assistance is very targeted. You also mentioned pension plan. We have proposed a reform for Social Security. It's with the OEK now, and that is what we recommend they pass. They have enough funds in their trust fund to fund the shortfall of their payouts. So we expect them to help carry the burden and wait for the OEK to pass the reform. The reform is balanced. It ensures a sustainable future for the plan, but it also improves the benefits to the beneficiaries. That's something that the OEK and the government has been doing through these supplemental benefits. In the future, under this program, the payments will be adjusted. So the OEK doesn't have to keep providing these, what they call supplemental benefits. And that destabilizes the fund because the fund is not designed to carry those additional payouts. The same thing goes with the pension plan. I know that there's been a lot of concern recently, but we have started the program, the project to entertain the reform. So of course we expect people from the public to be part of that program. And we expect that in the end, we will have a better program for the pension plan. I think we can look at expanding the program to the private sector. So I know you also mentioned people in need. The consideration for the increase in pay to government employees is a consideration because government provides a lot of support for the private sector. So we have been very careful to maintain public sector employment, but most of our people working for government are starting to struggle with higher fuel prices and higher electricity prices. So when we do the analysis on where this money is going to go, the $6 a day, a lot of it will go to their pocket. Some of it will go to taxes, some of it will go to higher fuel prices, but we do expect that money will go to their pocket and they can continue to spend more in the economy. There is a minimum wage bill with Congress now, but the private sector has asked that we don't implement that right away while the economy is still weak. So these are considerations in the bill that I think you were referring to in your question.
Yeah.
Add to that?
Kung soal mo, tribal ka di supplement per se. Sulang yung mga nagire, umbas close to three the helper other blue mo understand that was mal program rigid ono sir tigil gotter so ma program ngani sir program ra ADB no sir tigil gotter los pe angeso. Adal direct lo government direct los pe angeso. Namas ara la dalang ok. Mar adal ora private sector direct los pe angeso. By gira del help ring I ask you media direct help rather understand I say tell concept ra minimum wage. If you look at the study, Nobel laureate prize on economics last year, his name is Card. He's a professor at UC Berkeley. He studied the impacts of minimum wage. I'm thinking was they didn't find the loss of employment or affect the business on raise the minimum wage. There was no impact. If it's will justify, then will tell Galen. So what we need get help rather mo understand was sel ora la dan okol mo mo do der adam giren malo ngel mo ba de kal sel diel la awula nga ramo ngir mga kamo strike raniko ma MIC gay gidel tokoy mga help rather hindi ko sing abay gidel be strike imran mo orbira ko la nga sir abra bulu rogo ospe ay di you know ay gida unda sing the help rather bulu mo understand was of course hindi kal sel mo ding wrong di ngil telgael Lettia ludo da mormor trigida unfortunately tola dos perinia da dorumi ngara club lulme
Yung das el mori. Since
so bodong isa ol nindera refineries tia
das el mori ala tel minimum wage mo. Why?
oh well kadamira adro olbira lulaw so
For 9 years, 8 years.
Why saying tira ya el question more tindi as you know present mo submit their plan no say yung tiyan mo 850 25 cents a year same 2016 we're now 6 years later still at the omesringil mo Vice President tablo mi takratura se mo la dito dal walo do makas nung natiam na mo bedeng em na mo kita abul right say namo mga ariga daragas din kloa sige the local minister to kada shobal di complain din it's actually lack of understanding so trigel economist they did a survey trigel because our economist tablo say free market whatever the market decides 1979 majority economists say oh no that's the way to go 2000 it dropped to 47% while to minimum wage now Tamra reversed the sell decision. In fact, I don't know if when Kevin was here, was he opposed to minimum wage? Gal economist a graduate school. They've changed their thinking and now say people have to earn a minimum amount of income to survive. Tell living wage a close to trill concept. 75 cents in a year, planning next year, so we're going to add another 75 cents. The government, we're going to plan for the budget and we're going to make sure that there's money there to keep getting it up len dekal se el mal dekal se el mal dalal walo. So Kodolong ita adol bilo ase please elang makatri adol ulora kamnen ta dire kalau spera $6 every day. Hal dekal makit om dire kam da sa private sector mo logi ulel mo. Okay, so let's
Support niya.
okay. So we want to encourage them. Pestira confidence. Yeah, and look at the study. So maybe that time makadamak, but sometimes we have to take bold steps. So sulang. Di mo lang mo mga sign or mo.
Marami.
Hitel or to sign gira save my sanctuary. Trial ng liga look tiragal. We should do the same. Okay.
Normal tayo mo.
Tila ka to ngi deka control gi dra ilang di. Kami da ukto sodi ato kara kampak. Kampak trida mal blatak. Sera let's security ka tigin ngere amriga lo se tongora la security gi di ngari aktisi irra. المسوي سبرا بالواضح within 60 days كده لو مستري اوت ملغيره لا تورا ام غمار so tila de gilingeri ra the security perpetual jadi mergol dakal sedel oktober ri mang abai gider mi tu gni that se ala goto klorura minister ase musu gomam terbi la malmol ngara mange swasto mengirel malmol mange solme dari kali gider roger tilo ase Meral blambre lamamal mo bullseye tial mangar tial mai gal patriot missile se merbela de olse bgar tiange emrala degal ina so mam lo me sagal missile sangar belal protector blumam oise ndege Mr. Telams ma tiam le gare ada senate mal ngil gera Florida senate uliger tirma aiga ya lo ger tir no la di be mo bullseye lar belam rokom is oye mo bullseye me protector blumam oye kadangal tangat tele location ergida malk medra blura Asia dim bulgo diregal risk el mergid mang kado spare tin mangar gid ungir gire mangire mongir gire da direga mang se ago to klol ngarala negotiator gid mang lawyer gire sulang ara kalim Mr. Udo you want to add?
Yes, regarding the budget again, it's not just about raising people's incomes, but lowering people's costs. So two of the programs we also are promoting, one of them is clean energy, and that's through the Development Bank, where we help people install solar panels on their roof, the residential solar program. This is something that will help people. It's intended for lower income households. We just started. We hope to have this week the first installations on some people's houses. At this time, I think we have at least 17 approved for installation, but I think there was 92 applications that were given originally for this program, and there's 3 years to install these kits. Because it's a very designed very well, we have interest from another country to give us additional funding for this type of program for energy. And of course, you know that our energy policy is to increase our renewable energy to 100%. So these will really help people, because the price of fuel is not a stable price, and this affects people's incomes, which are usually stable. Once you set your salary, it doesn't change, but fuel and other costs can go up and down. Inflation has been very high recently. This is partly the reason why the high income classification was reduced to middle income.
Kemudian misalnya SS sama pensiun di mana kalau tiutil di mana lihat 3%. Sedungura tora SS, kita dimle increase SS, di increase SS, di increase SS, jadi kami increase minimum wage. Di merania ada lawyer tria om lura SS mensel aga gira makal marael mang sel blo doctor ka kleo se me laga reduce SS tormol material adam lang so tospe lesa tar option reduce SS by do sigir tigal dornga se tigal restro mo gir telo marael bolom lura SS bol ge ka bakak tel emergo tel reforma lo sadria minister tel la ngam dar olbi la dulim Namun kalau olbil di obakat tertia saya $50 lo yang mater lo yang. selora la ala la bangok lama ududi ra man morab mangi ang mga benefits mara la bangyan morab aiga mutmakan marayan Hadungura pension ak maya se tara sellara ese samal blaktak kita de kal girel appropriation or bilom aluri girel te girel dingil take care of itself yala pension oy to karadal dil mangal girel pension mral girel sobara nil girel di girel rom se tianga clol problem el girel address ni mo al bangan in blue either kada se mo the change and mortal imora system se no sen define a contribution di at change and more set tial blood sa dekal oit ndio bangir bangir mo sigaw do mo umeri so kau to trilal tama se at least again mo so is mo makramo attering ma mo tob siya most important ngari se se ru din mo continue el pera beneficiaries el ngarsel level lang dekal el tama dakat oise ongerung to si krolele edom doisar tourist el merbela le tara om alura pension atial PPEF 1250 ay mo if mo tourist ngudaw dol mo soyism sella alblada adarli dirigal mariala remittance tax walang kaya remittance tax and dirigal magsara dal order so as the economy rise automatically udaw dol mutin mo soyis para pension so I know lo say ngarala la pension bring us labor dol otisel more public el help pergida radra ngara leadership lo say ngira dal mo albangani ngira we need to find solutions and ngasula media all mamaklat karigi dra ye de legang do se komne highlight wase dekau do ma pension dekau do ma ss well dekal giren ngari ay girel they should be on their own let's be clear ss amal blaqtak la lul dekal girel to do dra qablement ro maluni sella a pension is supposed to be designed to take care of itself diga blada design yadlo malu gira del changes so di sen most important kada mlado ge mado olvilo ase me doni tagar tablo board make sure ndegal mataro bang eso mora adara blu el etmodin lo ase law mamudulong amal urtuira igang na bek el boy lama 15 dori mgira make sure ndim el mol dirwa mis reclama diri contribute mo diri kan mal diri kan wase no diri kan giral diri kan contribute ngawakla they need help diri ke sal mal mo obrada bitang o mesa gel sure lang mo mesin tira dimla ss ma pension gir mo ya sure tigel o malura ss ma pension no sudah
Step kani guys about to tell tax reform ang macro confusion na bulul gila la jalen tarap lagi sa problem ni ada mal ang ngani sele kumisa sel bola sure min mala gal masado ni ko la tal educate public ding mal ko sel kumasi ngani lak sa gidle education ma public gila tel mal mel tax reform nani adun ma tibi mamul ngadim na gil express ay guk ay klom den gi ma ngania hola official kan mel ngalo lumanda ka salam ko ol sisbringa TV just to be clear nga madim na gil mel per program ringi sa da gil ko understand di so I believe ko sen glabay ng song sel education ra adra official mi mek mo le titiga official mi palmito mi ro ro ding grel bolungil tilgi mongil smodi tiale Imral Mel tax reform lang talagi mga yakal fusion na other bloom yeah kasi what's gonna happen.
Thank you for sharing that, and we understand that this is an issue for us. We are moving this project along. We expect that come January 1st, we will be able to launch this program. We have had some discussion with businesses, especially those that are affected. There are some people who are very concerned, but they're not affected. So we've got to make sure that we're clear to them which people are involved. It's a little over 100 businesses that will be affected. So it's not the mom and pop store or more simple business like boat driver. So we will let them know how it affects them. We're preparing those kind of materials to start going to the public. But so far, we've been developing the regulations, the forms, and talking with some of the businesses and getting their feedback. but focusing on the businesses that are affected. So we will have a little bit more of a general program very soon, probably starting this month. But I know some people are concerned that we won't be able to launch this program. We have a lot of assistance. It's not just us that is pushing this program. We have a consultant that was initially paid by Australia, and then the ADB took over the contract. This person is here. He's working in an office with our people. We have a special team to do the tax reform, not just the people working in the office. We also have had assistance from another consultant who came here for 3 weeks and helped set up the office so that it's stronger to administer the reform. And he left us with a report so that we can learn what we can do better. But what he pointed out was nothing that we didn't already know. It's a difficult job, but it is something that we are working on. We also have Australian Tax Office who is now agreed to be our partner. So we had the team of 3 ladies who came down, including some of the higher level staff from Australia Tax Office, and they stayed here for 2 weeks. They were also providing assistance for computer programming, as well as marketing. How do we do the messaging for people, and then just general office work. They have agreed to continue to help us. So we didn't just set up a relationship with the Australia Tax Office just for this project. We set it up for the long term. We've also reached out to the Philippine Tax Authority. They will also be a partner for us going forward. We've also reached out to Taiwanese government. They are helping us with the actual reprogramming of the software so that we can do the VAT and the business profits tax. They're also we are going to be signing an agreement with their Ministry of Finance. So we will have assistance for our tax people as well as the rest of the ministry. So we are taking these steps to make sure that we will have a very strong tax office in the future. So the outreach will be coming. There was some changes to the forms, and that's what people really want to see. But I think some people are asking for something that it won't be relevant to them. And that's the way we designed the tax reform. So we wanted to keep the number of people that are actually affected to a very small number, like I said, a little over 100. The rest of the people in the middle are still going to do the same thing that they've been doing this whole time. If they do want to take advantage of a better system, they can apply to be part of the better system, like business profit tax, where you only pay taxes if you make money, if you make profit. Otherwise, you don't have to pay. So that's something we think that some people will want to try. And then at the lower end, for new businesses, they will just pay $100 in a year taxes. And the reason why we did that is when we experienced COVID, a lot of small market and small business people applied for assistance but were rejected because they don't have any records. So the government will allow them to file taxes file for their revenues to the government. So next time there is an emergency like this, the government will have a record and be able to help these people. So the reform is very powerful for, especially for just the regular people. The tax reform also includes a refund for people in the low to middle income, and that's something that people will. The average person, the Palauan, will not be affected by the tax reform. The burden of tax will be shifted to tourists. So people need to understand that information. We will try to do a better job at getting that out to the public.
Sulang ngawak lang malungil akong invite ra ada le akong mga dadu express opinion till tiaklot toy. This is the first time and really the overhaul of the reform tax system in the last 50 years. Mga expect ra ada daran dire madak. We go to treasury organia minister. Ali kadam sada sel bat will apply el mora shobay el gargarngera tarra ngalak re del dat telael. Maising el altame a listra el shoba di dat el shobay. Ministria traloram tirtigen di ngari telera ada trigel ngari el migare el dirgal sum chori come onto the system they can. The most importantly, let's take care of Tigel 100 and get that started. Tigel ngara adrong la 50 mat 300,000 aman mo mga arsel 4% tel dim lang ani. Etrige lang ngari ora 50,000. Ano mo dakal the file ay sa sentira karagir. Tinindit di hara ora sendikal $25 a quarter, was it? Yeah, $25 a quarter. Eka sila income rakal 12,000 kadi para $25. So aman mokte ka tiad reform help pa magkakadel show by. Help them become strong. Sel tara desar al selling sel el make sure impact el moral other below ada ngasang. That's why nga sel tax refund and moral other below. So sel income tax ra other lower other below up to 15,000 to ala ang rogir. They get it all back. So yes, complicated. Asum gore finance, learn it. Lang ngar alam. Asum dekal sayam get out of the house. Nga minister, if they can, because they should know how to do this work. And if they don't, maybe they're in the wrong job. They need to find a different job. Sometimes I get it multi-voice. Lang di ka daw sa dara to kam namo telar etil dir kala kalodeng. So it's a message ng ministry, and I think we need to help other murutra ureo to come on board and accept the fact that change is coming. It's good for the people, and as a public servant, you need to understand the work and figure out how to help people. Siya gira nga alam. Nakam-complain. Okay, see? So, hindi ko sa termination, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a private citizen.
Okay, good.
Then whoop as well express understanding nila.
Okay.
And on that note, I did reach out to more obviously Tirmak na invite to Tirmak and then next week.
After ko ron sa sangari ng ministry, diri ka aran dir mo.
Mula
lang ko nga, tell them they need to get educated.
Hindi na kamal open na doors or mumble for any education.
I see. Sulang. Hindi malungila program. Important, I get question ame, mung siya dala answer because we need to solve and help people understand. Sulang. Namu ina pa finance question. Ang gero ba ko? Ang gem naman. Yeah. Ay. Ang kayo mo sa las. Oy.
Okay. Pamantial,
Kabong yung
more
mga
still question or but ngil 12
Oy.
kari ka gilad sel proposal and mo increase sa salary or other lower government ra 75 cents al girela 3.5 million makari ka wase sel 3.5 million el ludod kadamlar ngir
Oh, well, part of the area so ang rigidra well all time. I mean that's so kadam la rigidra. Of course ang area revenue rigidra, taxes, fishing, blue prosperity plan, malon. Combination rigidra ko ya a helpful fund ra yo sang ang rigidra. Se arang nila se ulo ng rusan basing funds availability analysis ang otilo se marigigel source of revenue niya mo fund tel al activity may yamot makarogoy erudi tiyo sa ang rigidum sulang ang wilger
akmali tulgari ka maktimo throughout President mora Minister Victor understand ra sa Amerika lamli increase sel fishing treaty right fee mora Pacific from 20 something million to more 60 million a year mang lakal with se mo divided equally mo regalbek kal 4 island countries mang telang $1 ngira before and how much do we expect to receive it always andir ka kaniya ko technical role labangel
Saudara, question le medic tergivers mo dia US tuna treaty mo those are the numbers and understand that otherwise how we get there. So US tuna treaty is a multilateral treaty between United States and 17 Pacific Island countries. With that treaty, allow preferential access ra fishing vessels ra Blue Miguel era any said ra gigil 17 countries. Certain access. So there's actually two type of benefits derived from the treaty. Ngariya access fee. Also sell dongul mera igel PNA countries we sell percent vessel days. So annually Belua others X number of days igel vessel ramrigel aral at current rate at $12,600 per vessel days. So igel revenue mo igel belu. So put that in context percent vessel del kidrevela ultra ngana 9,500 per day. So if you participate in the US China Treaty Access Fee, malara additional about $4,000. Of course, ang gagawin o mga belaw mong blool di ka participators sa gidil part US China Treaty. Blool FSM, Marshall Islands, Kiribati, Nauru, Papua New Guinea, Sanomal Islands, again maklo percent vessel fishing ang balu. The along or segi del treaty nga isel daseng economic assistance agreement separate para funding el merigel otabadil mora igagid Pacific Island implemented through Foreign Fisheries Agency el divided equally amongst igagid 17 Pacific Island party. Ngulmu lal mlengara 3 million or sera statra 1987 sera last negotiate treaty in 2013 value niya amlo 21 million per year. So they're estimating a less than 1% increase per year in the last 20 years. So last year Pacific Island party wasn't so happy kasi malklol ngila nwa Miguel Radabella Pacific malgere ludo da dolari. So mlewan regel dilin mo Miguel kung singgiril increase value at treaty from 21 up to $60 million. Mong mirala negotiations for a while last number ngilun loyara teber beginning May amle 40 million. Pacific Island pari amle reject 3 kasi we want $60 million. So finally Miguel kilingel mo increase ringi to $60 million sa gidra meeting Fiji as you heard Vice President Kamala Harris and the announcer say gidil. And then what has Palau been getting say gidil economic assistance package. Ulmes agel numbers and it was around $900,000 a year. Say gidil the economic assistance. So with this new package, tiang mo effective July 1st, 2023. Vela sabihin mo about $3.2 million from that economic package. So siya ko put that in context in terms of the number. Yaiga siya kita kung benefit sel the part Pacific Island lang nganing sa leverage gid negotiate. Adil gideng merigala da nga era the belaw so we really don't get anything from them. So lang.
Minimum wage. Example, Caltuna Treaty, Blue Prosperity Plan actually brought in a total now, Minister $6 million man. Because that's about how much we're going to bring in additional to what we've been getting a year. Masaya head pergi del fund igal special activity including a minimum wage. So just to give you a question, iga mo murtial pat murtial amsang ala kadomi. Di kami sa prota minister man mo inaurera nga bring negotiate ko. Na mo sa ayule.
The last question kay Minister Presidente Mora Minister Matul Minister ang like I mentioned earlier malbato ka ako organizations depend auto tourism ngani ako plan ngani al time ministry ka lo sigaro lele kada malarte ka lokya kalmel nga isa kat mo yase la saibal makwa makuram la secure Korea mata siya balik kita ka mingin
Surangel malungi lakrim akslaktir ko mesen complete report lo korkaw Nariate alam ra last week ra Thursday no mitra other olbil. Magimilster comprehensive report. Lobanggela lagi dele koraplan ako mam lobanggela airline. You have the actual complete plan. Dil sa mo ay sagim na mo agi aldo lobanggela piyak kasel Palau International Airport Corporation. Lobanggela Minister Obiang. Amo dadu ra airlines ra Korea. Actually kasusak nesen ra email mo ra tergel partner kita Sojit ra Korea. Ngari aldadu ulmray lobanggela Busan airline. A challenge gal airline ro sorry incentive. Ding we're trying to figure out a way sa edal adadu kung kodam nga gal revenue share type situation. I can't give you details, and the although I'm ongoing at all time. Hopefully, I'll get something concrete by next week. Taiwan, they're already open na magitratir, but they're gonna get it's a humanitarian flights, specifically on referrals. Mga niya flights, 3 flights are August 6, 27, 31. Hindi ko doon September almot mong if they're gonna ease up on the 3+4. Nga possibility flights sa September. Di will ay sa alado lobanggela mo fara Taiwan, dire lobanggela gidele tele Shinkong. Sorry push ra marathon al morning na December. So siya ko ra indication of mong nga possibility November December ang morning regular flights. President Tagtalitang agi dire lo sigal dule lang nga skogi rasina. Hong Kong Mamakaw dire ko ra close, hindi nga net al rahainan. Siya ko rablal asina mururungin mo ko ra habra kuk flight certir ada possibility sa edal kuk explore rasinal dire ngadi aldo lobanggela Singapore. I believe Minister Obiang mo sign sa AOC lobanggela Singapore soon. Bilateral agreements and the yor gura gidele hindi ako dudat mo dilurtik mo komer bela ko sign lang Minister of Korea. Sige daw ko ra aldo loba Obiang lang, so hopefully we can all explore that option dire. United mdiri kanya to lobanggel lo explore direct flights lobanggel Siabal. Concern tira amlo amor telo was to kora amle concern mo al open ra Siabal le kulbol affected tel Guam route. The president na indicate mo explore that option. Mong adulus ra one flight ra Guam in help pergit al manya tourist ra Siabal. So all options and every opportunity nga ratable all time. We're exploring all of those options. A detail ko al kumakal report amla agora kamera other media.
Sila President ko di that time. There no mergalo ay Mr. President no Minister Victoria $6 million man. Ngani abis $6 million luto. El dir lu si special no kumtabi na so isbetial supplemental budget material FY23 budget. Di sel do mes inclua shortfall shortages supply sa hospital agit ngaringi ang esensiya toktang manurs direct kloa anida la law enforcement el girela law enforcement usisul time in kloa do reng sel cover up incident na tuba involve law enforcement dia gaudo del moray gigidel el mal importante el ministry Naragora priority rakal girela gigidel tul ministry.
Umra Mr. Talam Swaseng adabora supplemental en health education Ministry of Justice ay tiraw daw del morning. But waiga lolo minister we're being conservative. Next year kada mesero sing karad rutel increase but giral step by step da kasi di take care rogoy. Nariya questioner sila gimara town hall oriol wase hindi kami install la camera ra igat tulang langara airtrack mo kasi instead of ask the government mong todo mo mangaram limiu ma airtrack mi marogo hindi at some point ni kirel gida adrablo arigil tigidel gutmok malsum onklo mara airtra bilas sira kirel buiga agimola again sa kaman morme so medang again singid morme mlagalorora I mean, these are things that we have to work together on. But I understand what I ulan dire klo amrora alu mringala nakadala okla. that doesn't stop us as a community. اللي كده البوليس رجيت. You know, Muir Wana report in 1979, 73 report was in 55 are police rebel. Minister terror police rebel at time. 200 terror police plus our rangers. Kita na ako over police til bulura blula per capita. So,
Yung alam mo eh.
kita na. Kita, akong ba siyang kita ligid as a community, motma yan mo tumuha nga ramongan. Ngari sense of responsibility. Kita kasi the blame sa tadrang ko blue, malanding a lot of times hindi gid. You know, aktoreng sa tiyalinga kamil terong malungil. Government makarang kami aktor sa kadrablong uksin makarang. And I think that's one of the areas that we can help. Alsung pamesap lamal call the police. Both the police are wrong. Say the community at hospital el kambatay ka. Kadam na yun kasi ngari otro lama Roman Morar underage. We know who they are. Report them. After hours. All of these problems ang as a community, let's report them and help Ministry of Justice already. Like it's not so much money is the answer. It's about working with the community that makan el sol baigal man maklo opera da albangan. Akmana yun kasi Ministry of Health rin mal challenge and maybe I don't know minister yung siyempre answer gira la tokorakar.
So lang ra a question e matlog tutelelgel. Why gel blaldo nga president albol bato ka daw engungil. Hindi nga niya igel uriol gida del makutpok lenya mo sa edel. Mungil efficiently ko taw tra abachet. So tarigi maururungir ang amrura kora baseline assessment tra igal local department lo meselo sa makarata talgibel smisi aurior ma otutela budget mo talgibel efficient. Tokorakar kita kumdas sa sliding scale hospital diri kal chance na motela rak. Mang arala lu amas ma arala akara mas rablulat hindi yet kada diri ka charge $5. So say mat close drain and more resources rigi. Ay kita diri ka tal domes and we need to look at them and mo adjust mong ngilo ututela resources rigi. At tokora toktang marnur sa OCCU. Atong ura salary abela ako tel tara hindi ka ngariol wangarang. Hindi compare del mora region. Un maring kita recruit ra even mar other belon may asay giti. Ese dia kadil ka mamal held mong giram lawriol mong gela minister mo tu lemro ko komesra le salary scale ra kamen tangarala. Ma civil service regulations ngaringi. Mundi kat sa amal kuk tiga mam malibel wase. O kagita malungit toktang eswala tartela la tarak matungun masang. Hindi nga niya luut ilgire telo meslo se. Makarata tongot mok lagi gid embol sa luuleng. Ngori nga ungil toktang marnurs. So why say although dapat klong ungil hindi nga niya gigidil wal kora out there del regulations mala algire del mo omes se. Makarata sumok lagi. Matoral padulu kuk beyot trigita implement tegel swat. So gigita pepira uriol dongot pokle kata ay amare ulingit tra koloreng ra atra blue tan dia kada te kada wesel al time mal ada kada wesel al sel etel rak hindi swad al motpok rauriol wat dolal mersel tane sum kada mongil lomran mangi ngoyas ringi atara club se kada mesasel rod al sel momlit muri.
And I think sel dungura tora hel kadim sa da NCD. NCD ngar alet ar other bela rogo. Ulang mga saka, umring na lakar. Kadam na kasi mga sa umling madrom, wala ka mula maabagol, wala ka mula mga mala masar. May lang, patulong tayo tapos ka medro lagi nga alet. Hindi ka sobak le hospital, hindi ka mo kita ka. Okay? So let's help each other. So kan sa tayo la Vice President mo address ra cover up, kung sa cover up makwadi. I don't know refers to what. But,
Mr. Talam, sulukam lo mention na kabar-abal. Mang ako ra kabar-abra pulis ang para
Dia udang di oblam rin sa subim report.
oh.
Subim low eyes.
okay. Ang sabi mal low ay sakmal so kalo o giutal reorganization ya president tam lakot makliya Office of Professional Standards. Ligidar ka mingila budget mo sa ethical hiring. But right now, I gimal take seriously a police misconduct. Mga nga incident report, tal sabi may report ngira ablila Office ra Vice President, termula ige Rockwell al facts, al kawa alleged, wasing wayal nga amlo rabatak kalurerel, ang kagi dale bulis. E kamama amla mutal logisi sel Police Practices Committee at chair engel sel committee Miss Graciano. Mong mo sabi ilay gero kul complaints sel gire already our police gel dom kadong mo internal affairs sel lengway alukora misconduct our police sel mo go through sa gidel process mong mo sabi edal impose a disciplinary proceedings against our police mang mal kamal misulang akmal lolingit ang bol sa mal mem da ado eda bol fill out their segi dial form mang suko mang bol sa start the investigation ul kaya like dial misconduct our police which we take very seriously.
The sulang arsel point ra girela cover up mga sometimes ada rablo ogero sangara ulang ari officer SP away gagi dal sum ngari gagi cover up may dal that's why I'm buying them lisi mang lora officer SP we can go there and report but sangari that's why the erasing in the of course mga budget and paduli tila kasi that's probably more reason why we need to fund it and make it stronger. So sulang I'll bring it up. Reminder mo ata rablo. At suma Minister of Justice feel wasing cover up or SP. They're open. I mean that's why we have that outlet. Of course, ngari police practice mo maras mandi ngari sa last ata rablo mo. Please SP's office is open and I'm sure she's ready to handle receive your call mo. Sulang.
Sulang President Rama Vice. Pero din sa doon di sa nang
Yeah, and of course we don't want cover up and that's why we have these systems in place. We have the media malungin. Police practice but hindi nga SP. We want everybody to nobody's above the law including our police. And I think the mga sula ministerial one of the things the regulation kung di ogering kamal Mr. Uludong amle telal remand sa tigal police other all bill kataman mga sulal mle implement sel ording naralla tigal police amle volunteer resign rogui rayel lolbir tir manganiro resign police and most speaker and that's I think intent minister she Vice President and so on make sure kabla police is held with integrity the sel sumar aba mesal wase tobalaman temadu mori omul al mortir se ako to close to tell let's report them to the right authorities action that's taken mandera question the integrity ako to close to tell sulang
Mr. Tiagyuda, ora last time Mr. Presidente kuluay sa mumura family vacation 3 weeks kamumararo ingarang morker return and merbelaro ingarang
Rock mo dibo sa July 25 mera Augusto yeah, Florida, Michigan, California. Yeah, almost 3 weeks. Nadiyan lot, kamala. Namos kami na lunch. Dia ko raman mi sa kami dia ko Betulan. Okay, hindi ako mahal makbay ko. Birthday wishes. Oh, yeah. Kami sirgitan mal. Dalam allow them labis sa restaurant.
There's a ministry hours next week.
Yeah. Who's next Wednesday?
Ministry hour. Probably under the impression wasing el movimiento ya question makno la speak makno ya question na ayak flow ka mo na minister ko sa tiyan. Alam mo lagi nil, lopel ba namin niya eh. Yang magtiswa qualify siya di pag-talk show na. Ang alin belaw, ang morgi siya ginagawa Q&A sa amlo ko na.
That's a good idea.
Sir, kung parte may kakasong Q&A.
Oh, okay. Back pa na.
You know, kita tiap sa brother all out ni. Le bebera tam kada aradam nat mo kani roring sana kan mo dadu. So roring setir ka. And minister ma program martir mang amle idea was let's give them an opportunity. And I think it's a malungil suggestion. So of course next week mo temala Minister Victor. Ngau ka I'm sure di mo laleko ngwak lo gera minister.
Kami, sabi clarifying yung president, sila do press conference. At yung opinion mo la media, maluwing kukti in the media program ng kila ministry. Hindi alam ni-announce sa president Roel na sinmobe kal Wednesday. Yeah,
Every other Wednesday. Yeah.
Every other Wednesday. Every other Wednesday.
Ministry hour.
But media invited to show.
Yeah. Ministry hour. So one and minister. Maradal. Kami
Press conference.
but you can ask them questions or what? Yeah.
After presentation.
Yes.
Lawrence na ministry, press conference, so umilogi raki. Mga nagte will expand tayo kagit explanation or tier.
Or give them.
The point nga ako sa, after they present, it was one of the what you back and forth, and, to clarify some things.
I think it's a good thing. It's healthy. It's healthy. Pastrate alle. No. Mang kita mo dibo sa next press conference, Vice President ang artiam. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, marukun minister sa artiam kita sa inyo. Kita try things differently. Expose more people, give everybody an opportunity to share higel program loro. Ning marklo adim sa higel kantit anding direct to kang higel loro ra tegan ministry ukol share ngata. Right, ito table balance.
Especially the men of
Oh, gaya $6 million man. Okay. Hindi ka natin man mga lisensyo, hindi. Shows your age. Okay. Hindi ako makuman sula. Akparan ba nga suli tiyan nombre kal week. Oh. Yung tukar nariya por dertir hindi alal tukubet silsil sila alal sil sa nombre nga suli triyagi del tewang. Alal sil July 20 ukno tanjo birtir. So let's wish them all a happy birthday. Ngara Ministry of Justice Delilah Shiro. I see. Shandel Titong o tiga terung ngara Ministry of Justice. Pedri ngara terung ngara Ministry of Finance. Javenta o Osima ma Chantel Ririk. Ngara Ministry of Education ngara Karma Raymond ma Arlene Trolley. Ngara Ministry of State Ereyang Lorilyn Darbay. Mataman mo nga sulir kamangal temir tira masyura adra blur bela. I wish them a very happy birthday. Adios sa makaltanga tertir. Lalo mo makaltanga terbela marbek la adra bela. Naduk mo nga litial press conference rigid. Katamal on schedule na lang 2.5 hours. Oh. Sila.